Well, from Garden legend to Rene Rancourt to Todd Angeli, they set the stage right here in Boston for a big hockey game. First time in the series, Jeremy Swayman gets the start for the Bruins. A sensational season as the 1B for the Bruins. Linus Ullmark all but assured the Vezina, but Jim Montgomery put it bluntly yesterday, saying Ullmark just hasn't stopped enough pucks. Sergei Bobrovsky has won 2 of 3 since taking over the net from Alex Lyon late in Game 3. Tonight, the first career Game 7 for Sergei Bobrovsky. Well, here at TD Garden in Boston, home ice advantage was in full effect for the regular season for the Bruins, but the Panthers, they have won 2 of 3 in this series here on Causeway Street, and that sets up a Game 7 showdown, winner take all tonight in Boston. Patrice Bergeron and Sam Bennett off the opening draw, and it's dumped in by Cousins, and we're underway. Swayman will leave it behind the net and then think twice about what he wanted to do with it. Played it up the boards. And it's spun back around by Orlov to McAvoy. And the Bruins able to skate out of the zone. Put it in the skates of Marchand. He had his pockets picked, and Cousins will set it back for the Florida Panthers. Brennan Burke, Darren Pang, Jackie Redmond, happy to be with you here this evening from Boston. Dmitry Orlov sends it up the wall. Room to skate for Patrice Bergeron, playing in his 14th career Game 7 tonight. Ekblad pulled it away from an oncoming DeBrusk. Duclair forced down the boards by Taylor Hall. And then Forsling fumbled the puck. His second try got it through to Verhaeghe, but Carlo turns it around again, and Bobrovsky will come out to touch it. That one mishandled in the corner, and then a centering feed from Coyle was cut off. Pass to Verhaeghe out of the zone and right back in, courtesy of Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Florida Panthers are anxious to get that first shot on goal, too, and just test Jeremy Swayman with that goaltending change that the Bruins have made here in Game 7, and just see how he handles the first puck, in his glove, any action in front of that crease.
David Pasternak's pass was into the skates, picked up by Grzelcyk on the follow-up. Krejci headed to the net. Bobrovsky grabs that one up off the ice.
Jeremy Swayman, the confidence they have in his demeanor, his confidence. Hard to explain what that would be like, putting the skates on and getting ready for this one. But I will say that Jeremy Swayman didn't act any differently for Game 7 than he did in any regular season game I covered the Boston Bruins this season.
Krejci ties up off the drop. Puck grabbed by Zacha. Zacha, Krejci, Pastrnak together again. The check line, if you will, for the Bruins. McAvoy's shot tipped just wide as Krejci got a piece of that in the slot. Did not miss by much. Bruins set it up again. It's McAvoy across the ice for Grzelcyk. Goaltending not the only lineup change for Boston as Pastrnak snapped one in on Bobrovsky. Thrown to the middle of the ice. Lundell cut it off, and the Panthers will move ahead. Grzelcyk and Frederick are in. Connor Clifton, Nick Foligno are out for the Boston Bruins in comparison to their Game 6 lineup. What a Game 6 that was. Down in Florida, a wild third period. And a 7-5 win for the Panthers. Carlo moved it along. Here's Hathaway at 2-on-1. He's got Frederick, but it's broken up by Radko Gudas. Stahl with Dalpe, able to force it along. Orlov hits McAvoy in stride. He sidestepped the hit from Gudas. The puck turned over, though. And Colin White, short pass on for Bennett. Bennett's pass gets through Tkachuk. And the Bruins have possession again.
The Bruins have done a great job with puck possession, managing possession, getting back to the tactical part of the game that made them the best team in the regular season by far.
Carlo dumps it down. Bobrovsky looking over his options as the puck comes to him. Ekblad had to move it in a hurry. Matthew Tkachuk hits Forsling, and then tapped in by Cousins. First one on it, Lindholm for the Bruins.
Tkachuk and Bennett, they're the tone setters here for the Florida Panthers.
They work it down low. Bennett tried to get that one to the front. Lindholm kept it away. Then Ekblad shot blocked by Marchand. Bertuzzi taking a look. Marchand's out behind the defense. He couldn't time that entry right, and it's blown down offside.
Oh, that was close.
Hagen 2 in 2009, his first season with Carolina, including beating the Bruins to advance to the conference final that year. Whoa! Awkwardly knocked across the goal mouth and then elevated out of the zone. Bouncing back to Brandon Montour. Set up Anthony Duclair, and a good look for Barkov. Barkov snaps one off the blocker of Swayman. First chance he's had to touch the puck here tonight. Duclair winds and fires. That was blocked by Coyle up in the air. Glove down by Hall, and then a follow-up try gets through on net. And
for Swayman to see pucks.
No points in the season, in the series for Aaron Ekblad. That shot hit a body in front. And knuckled just wide. This one kept in. Luostarinen for Ekblad. Snaps one into the skates of Orlov. Ekblad around. Reinhart lets it go. Forsling sent behind the net. A broken stick for Orlov. He plays without one for the moment. Gets involved physically, and that helps an outlet develop for Zacha, and he feeds it through for Krejci. Krejci will send it to the near board. Zacha is after it there. Forsling trying to duck around the net and escape. Pastrnak cut him off. That passes to the skates of White. Pastrnak just can't reach it. Well, the Bruins try to set it up in the offensive zone, but the pass was tipped out by Colin White. David Pastrnak flips this one in. Pastrnak had 2 goals in Game 6, including a highlight reel goal between his skates. As this rolls in on Swayman, and he gets the cover just as White. Mentioned Swayman hasn't started since the regular season finale. He did play 3 minutes and 11 seconds of Game 4. Made 1 save when Omark was assessed a misconduct for his scuffle with Matthew Tkachuk.
That's a good step up there by Mahura. Taking away the red line like that, a good clean play.
Mahura fumbled that pass. Bertuzzi, this one helped along from Bergeron to Marchand. Marchand dipped to the inside, and he's upended.
That's a hip check right there.
McAvoy has to delay while Bergeron gets out of the zone. Marchand got knocked down, and it's Bennett. Tries to cut back, and he avoided the hit from Orlov and almost got clean to the goal. Things opening up here for the moment. Bruins pushing the pace. Marchand across for Bertuzzi on the play from Bergeron, and it was broken up by Stahl. Mark Stahl, that is. Games of NHL experience officiating here tonight. 1,100 plus for all of them. Krejci's shot guided up and off the high glass from Bobrovsky. Verhaeghe on the ice in the top power play unit for Boston, with Zacha, DeBrusk, Pastrnak, Krejci, and Lindholm out there for the moment.
Yeah, Lindholm needs a big bounce back game here too. Show that composure that he showed all season long.
Pavel Zacha slides it to the middle, down low. Krejci takes an extra second. Lindholm misfired on the one-time. And Barkov will play it down.
Boy, a little frustration there from Lindholm. I mean, that should have been right in the middle of the blade and on the net, and he whiffed on it. Took a little sod as well.
Bruins have 9 power play goals in the series, just under 40% success rate. As McAvoy comes to the goal line, plays behind for Bertuzzi. Bergeron pinching down the wall. As he stumbled down, a chance to clear, and Stahl will do it. Bruins were 3 for 4 in Game 6. Bertuzzi and 2 from Pastrnak. They've got multiple power play goals in 3 straight. They're 7 for 13 over the last 3 games on the power play. They've got less than a minute now left on their first opportunity tonight in Game 7. Bertuzzi, McAvoy opens up, takes a look, plays to Orlov, down low goal line. Marchand can't force it in front. Marchand tied up. Nearly got to Orlov. A clearing attempt from Lundell. Took a friendly hop right to Barkov.
Yeah, and that's another thing that the coaches were talking about. Paul Maurice is the stanchions here. There's been a lot of funny bounces with dump-ins up high. That actually happened just inside the blue line.
Power play down to 20 seconds. A high-sticking call against Nick Cousins has the Bruins on the man advantage. Marchand couldn't connect there with Orlov. Mark Stahl able to force it ahead. Luostarinen and a penalty call. The stick of Marchand got caught between the legs of Luostarinen, including a 2 for 4 in Game 6. Tkachuk elevates this one. It's still 4-on-4 here for the moment. That changes as Cousins steps out onto the ice, but one more rush. Here's Coyle, wristing one wide of the net. Now the Panthers get control and can get set up on their power play.
A lot of shots from the outside on the rush. They're missing the net on Bobrovsky.
Coming around for Bennett. Trying to shovel it out for Montour. Puck gets through. A diving effort by Nosek disrupted the play, and Charlie Coyle able to find it and shoot it down as Montour couldn't hold the line.
Yeah, Jim Montgomery yelling from the bench, deep, deep, and a quick change there for Coyle.
Barkov will be the one to carry through center. And that one deflected off of DeBrusk, came to Swayman, and Swayman will clear it himself.
Good play by Swayman. Confidently gets that down the ice.
Montour got pushed, and he went hard into the inboards and gets up slowly on the other end. Barkov feeds it down. Bennett hands off. Reinhart Around for Tkachuk. Montour appears okay. He's back in the play, waiting in the near circle. Tkachuk down low. That one redirected away by Orlov. A chance to clear, and McAvoy will do good on it.
Now, one thing about Tkachuk, he's greasy. He goes to the net. A lot of his goals come on rebounds, jam plays, goal line to the crease. But nothing going there on that first try.
30 seconds left on the Marchand penalty. That one broken up by Charlie Coyle. He gets there with Forsling. The stick goes flying. That's Coyle's stick. He's trying to pin the puck in his skates, though, and did. It popped out. Carlo got it out of the zone. Nosek able to fight that one over, and Derek Forbort will take it and loft it slowly in. 15 seconds left. One more rush here for the Panthers on the power play. Tkachuk, center ice. He'll move it down. Lindholm got there first, and Tkachuk takes him hard into the corner boards. Grzelcyk freed it up. A chance for Pastrnak to skate. Marchand will join the rush. Pastrnak over the line. Risks a shot high. And Karam's off a stanchion. Marchand able to get to that loose puck. He was tracking it the whole time. Pastrnak in traffic. Lost it. Right to Lindholm. Marchand parked in front. Krejci backdoor, and it's deflected high. Past the two Bruins in front. Lindholm pivots, slides it. Marchand taps it. Pasternak's shot redirected away. Marchand up with it again. On the backhand. Marchand stops, opens up. Knocked the stick out of the hands of Montour. Continues on. Fed Lindholm. Lindholm to the slot. Pastrnak didn't get a lot behind it. Lindholm moves it to McAvoy. Bruins pouring on the pressure. McAvoy hangs onto it. Looks to the front. Krejci's shot off the glove of Marchand. Play will continue. Grabbed by McAvoy. Cousins went for the stick. Krejci to the slot. Waiting with it, Lindholm. Pastrnak gets it, shoots it, save. Man, knocked out of the air by Krejci. And they blow it down on the high stick.
On Lake Trip.
Face-off win for the Bruins, and the Cats power play starts with a clear. They registered one shot on goal in that first power play, which was almost a full 2 minutes. Reinhart had to travel a long way to get there, and then he put too much behind that. Off the stick of Tkachuk. No icing, though.
Well, even Matthew Tkachuk stopped in front of me thinking it was going to be an icing.
Reinhart down the boards. Cut off by Carlo. Puck came loose. Nosek with the outlet, and Forbort gets it down the ice. Not all the way down as Montour cut it off. 40 seconds gone on the power play. Reinhart will hand to Barkov, and they'll reset things. Panthers have a power play goal in each of the last 3 games. They've won the last 2 games in this series to force this game 7 tonight. Tkachuk moves away from Coyle. Bennett out high with a little bit of room. Montour closing in. Snaps one, save. Swayman, no rebound.
Oh, right off the mask. You can see his snap is loose. Little skirmish ensues after that, and no surprise there that Tkachuk's right in front. On the far side here near me.
Oh, it should be. There's only... Oh, there we go. Okay. Panthers do have 5 out there. As Orlov trying to close in. And it's Barkov playing for Montour. 45 seconds to work with for Florida. Sam Reinhart ahead for Tkachuk. Dumped in. McAvoy was able to fend off Barkov. Allowed Orlov to get it. And the pass out for Tkachuk slowly gets there. Then popping off the wall, Lundell. Barkov tried one from a tough angle, and McAvoy got a stick on it, put it out of play. Well, as we take a look at our SAP Coaching Insights app, Boston Bruins didn't lose many times this year. They went 65-12-5. They've never lost 3 games in a row this season, but when you add up the regular season and the postseason, they've lost 20 times, 5 of them to the Florida Panthers. The Panthers and the Ottawa Senators, the only 2 teams in the NHL this year that beat the Boston Bruins multiple times in the regular season.
Ottawa Senators triggered the comments from one of the great power forwards, Matthew Tkachuk's, Brady Tkachuk's pops. Big Walt.
Lundell to the front, the back, and he scores! It's Brandon Montour! A power play goal! And the Panthers have the first one here in Game 7.
Plain breakout by the Florida Panthers. That has stunned this crowd with his backhander. Montour continues his fine play. That's his 4th goal of this series so far, and the right-hander slides in there on the backhand. Bobrovsky stops it behind the net. Little speed. give and go to the backhand. And Jeremy Swayman isn't outside that crease. He's not a whole lot of challenging that play. Maybe not expecting Montour to quickly go to the backhand. Very good instincts there by Montour. You know, from that angle, it makes it look easy. From the goaltender's angle, certainly not suspecting that. And it goes right through the 5-hole right there. And that quiets everything down here in Boston.
Brandon Montour leads all defensemen in the first round with 4 goals. He had one in Game 6. He has one here in Game 7. And a 1-0 lead for the Florida Panthers on the road in Boston. Now Zach Dalpe, centering pass grabbed by Zacha. Handed off for Pastrnak, and he'll dump this one down. The first goal has meant everything in this series. Right now the Panthers have it in Game 7. Pastrnak trying to keep it in. He did. Dalpe able to force it down. Got a little too much behind it. It'll turn into an icing call against the Panthers. Montour from Lundell and Sergei Bobrovsky. The first goal here tonight.
Bob did the easy thing, just stop it behind the net, but Lundell makes a good pass right there, and you can see Orlov's looking to push or angle Montour off to the side right there. Not quick enough, and it allows Montour to fire the backhander. Clearly, the goaltender, Jeremy Swayman, is a moment like that. That's just a tight butterfly right there with your stick on the ice, but it gets behind him.
McAvoy, a little shimmy behind the net, opens things up for Orlov, snaps down Marchand. Bobrovsky able to get there. The net was open for a moment. Bobrovsky came sliding hard to his left. Orlov, wrist shot, blocked off to the corner. McAvoy will pick it up there. McAvoy drags behind the net. Comes now Bertuzzi, ripped it wide. Marchand keeps it alive. Hit by Dalpe, played by Stahl. Stahl actually hit Dalpe with the clearing attempt. It's not out yet. Now it comes out. And Eric Stahl with the Panthers in the middle of a change. Crowd wanting a too many men on the ice call. They won't get it. And then a big hit delivered by Montour on Marchand.
Oh, did he ever step up on him? In the meantime, Bertuzzi in front of me with a cross-check to Dalpe, right close in the numbers.
Barkov tried to slip it to the front. It was in the skates of Orlov. Hall had a chance on it. Verhaeghe stopped that. Barkov taken to the boards by Orlov. And now it's Taylor Hall. Inside 6 minutes to play here in the first period. Hall chipped it in. Thrown out by Duclair. Verhaeghe for Barkov. Line shoots, and that one's off Swayman. Picked up by Charlie Coyle. He'll charge ahead. Coyle, a sweeping poke check by Reinhart on the turnaround. And Florida steals the puck. Reinhart down the right side. Drags, shoots. That one off the blocker of Swayman. Montour whiffed on it. DeBrusk on him. It's Lundell. Taken off the puck by Coyle. DeBrusk trying to fight his way through Reinhart. Crowd starts to gather. Down goes DeBrusk. Puck squirts free. Mahura to Gudas. And then right back to Mahura. He's got plenty of time. Bruins in a change. Panthers coming in. Forbert knocks it away from Lundell. Charlie McAvoy, a tight turn behind the net. Headman for Hathaway. Hathaway moves it in. Caught up to and then shot well wide by Nosek.
Yeah, a couple of good saves. One on Barkov and that tricky little toe drag play there by Reinhart off the blocker of Swayman.
The odds from DraftKings Sportsbook at the top of the screen is Frederick trying to stay on balance. Hathaway to the net. That one tapped off the leg of Frederick and swept out of the crease by Cousins. And then iced by the Florida Panthers. Paul Maurice, prior to puck drop, Panger, he had glowing praise for the play of Sam Bennett.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a driver. And the interesting part is he's seen him enough while Bennett was a member of the Calgary Flames, and of course Paul Maurice, the coach of the Winnipeg Jets. I don't think he quite appreciated how good of a player he has become until he got to Florida.
Yep.
Coaching him every single day, knowing what he's all about. The scoring chance at 5-on-5, 39-18 when you compared Tkachuk and Bennett, the same line against the Bruins. That's pretty darn impressive at 5-on-5.
Bennett, Tkachuk getting off the ice as the Bruins trying to catch the Cats in a change. It's Charlie Coyle driving around the back of the net. Everybody collapsed down low, opens up Lindholm at the line. Return to Coyle. Coyle trying to get to the interior. Carter Verhaeghe able to shut him down initially. Coyle stays on it though. Lindholm with the line, moves it over to McAvoy. McAvoy shoots. That one never got through. Ricochets all the way out top. Lindholm with it now, approaching 2 minutes to go in the period. Coyle between his skates, and DeBrusk shut down by Bobrovsky. Puck still loose. Referee right there. The puck comes free, and the shot from Carlo wouldn't go.
How'd he miss?
It deflected off somebody in the crease and just crept over the crossbar.
Give the referee a lot of credit right there. He did not prematurely blow that whistle down.
DeBrusk closing in, throws away. Pressure continues for Boston with a fresh lineup out there. Played down here, DeBrusk. Up the wall, Carlo has to back off. It's Barkov who will float it down, and a race for the puck. Luostarinen got in, and he hit the post! What a play by Luostarinen.
High to the blocker side, off the bar.
Chances on both ends. Pastrnak. His shot blocked by Lundell, who had to pick up his stick once again. Rimmed around Derek Forbert there. Forbert. Shot shut down. Zacha sweeping at it with one hand. Pastrnak couldn't close that off along the end wall. And then Grizzly pushed up against the boards. Lundell, Luostarinen there for Florida. The whole forward line in tight for Boston. It came free, and now twisting out the pass from Zacha to Krejci, intercepted. Luostarinen will chip it down as we enter the final minute here of the first period.
Yeah, good play by Luostarinen. That's a long shift. That's 1 minute and 5 seconds. Good play just to get it out of the zone.
Backhanded over for Pastrnak. Shot one wide. Picked up by Marchand. Marchand off the glass, riding the ledge of the boards. Ekblad keeps it from Pastrnak. Pinching in from the line was Orlov. As the puck gets stuck there against the kick plate. Pushing, shoving, puck came out. It's Bertuzzi with a shot, swallowed up by Bobrovsky. TD Garden in Boston. One of the greatest regular seasons of all time. Only got the Bruins here. They're going to need a come-from-behind win to extend this season. Otherwise, it's the Florida Panthers moving on to face the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 2. Tkachuk fired that one right into Marchand and Montour, taking their time getting untangled. The play is offside. That's the reason for the whistle. 23 seconds into the period.
I'm sure from the Boston point of view, getting the puck deep into the offensive zone necessary. Establish that cycle down low. They did so in spurts in that first period. And as Taylor Hall told Jackie at the end of that first period, need a little bit more of that. And maybe Jimmy Montgomery's defenseman, too, can get more pucks towards the net. I think there was a little reluctance to do so. And instead get it to the forward's hands for a little cycle plays down low.
Fourth line out for Boston here is Garnet Hathaway. Puts a little pressure on. Created a turnover as Barkov lost it. Trent Frederick picks it up. Barkov swiped it from him. And Barkov trying to pull away from Nosek. Barkov for Duclair. This one ramped far corner. Hathaway after it. Played it to Carlo. Good reverse opens up Lindholm. Stretched through the middle. Hathaway deflected it in, but from the wrong side.
To tie the game up at 1-1. I do not believe Bobrovsky knew where that puck was. Very fortunate for him, but a great save nonetheless at a timely moment.
It didn't seem like he was tracking that, but he got the blocker on it.
No, he was looking down at the pile thinking that the puck was loose.
So were 9 other guys. This one tapped in front of it. They score! Sam Reinhart had the puck come right to him. He rips it by Swayman, and it's 2-0 Florida.
Reinhart had a great scoring chance in the first period, pulling the puck back in and going to the blocker's side. He's got a great release. And managing the puck is everything, something that Boston didn't do very well in game number 6. And a turnover leads to this. Carlo's got it, goes to the backhand. And you see Lindholm thinks he's got it off the boards, does not. It's kept in by the Florida Panthers. And then one quick pass there is a brilliant shot. Look at the one-touch pass. The backhander by Lundell. One-touch pass there by Luostarinen. And then high over the glove. And there might have been a subtle screen there by Lindholm. But again, not strong enough on the boards by the Bruins. Results in a 2-0 deficit here in Game 7.
Sam Reinhart now with 4 goals in the series. Goals in 3 straight and 4 of the last 5 games in this series. As Coyle came out from below the goal line. Couldn't get the backhand on net. So an early second period goal. Reinhart just 1 minute and 14 seconds in. And has given the Panthers the 2-0 lead. Matthew Tkachuk wrestled off the puck by Orlov. Taylor Hall Knocked down to the ice by Bennett. This one clear across, and Nebraska will chip it to safety. Boston making a change while they can as Mark Stahl ducks behind Bobrovsky.
Well, that third line of the Florida Panthers continues to play great for Paul Maurice. All three of them touch the puck on that goal.
This one coming around for Tkachuk, who thought he was slashed by Krejci. Puck handed off here for Krejci. He was flat-footed. Verhaeghe got a stick on that, and Duclair settles right in front of the Bruins bench. Lifts this one down the ice. Verhaeghe had it for a moment, then lost it. Shot down Radko Gudas. Whips it across, tapped down by Verhaeghe. As he was able to get onside. Now Brandon Carlo flushed out by Barkov. Carlo on for Zacha. Forsling got there. That one hit escape. Comes right to Pastrnak. Pastrnak throws the brakes on. Backhand pass for Zacha. Then for Krejci. Can't find the shot. And Krejci will play it behind. Pastrnak bumps with Barkov, and Barkov able to leave the zone. Carlo put it back in, but the Bruins in need of a change.
Top players getting frustrated off the ice and onto the bench for the Boston Bruins. They're going to be pressing. There's going to be odd man breaks, I'm sure, going against them.
This one chipped in by Eetu Luostarinen, who picked up the primary assist on the Reinhart goal. Anton Lundell gets the secondary assist. He's got 2 assists in the game. Derek Forbort moved it on for Bertuzzi. He's denied entry. Luostarinen again. That time cut off by Bertuzzi.
Great defending the line, though, by the Florida Panthers. Boston a little reluctant to get that puck in deep. Get it down low and get the cycle going. But that's not happening right now, and give Florida a lot of credit. They're playing a really sound, structured game here.
This one knocked aside and then dumped down by Eric Stahl, and off Swayman's stick. It'll jump over the glass. One moved around the boards after the defensive zone win for the Bruins. Hall can't clear. Orlov, he is able to return it to Taylor Hall. Flipped in. Bruins going in the forecheck. Mark Stahl bumped off by Hall. DeBrusk comes over as well. Stahl hits the ice. DeBrusk had the puck. Eric Stahl was able to poke it from DeBrusk, who got it back to the line for Orlov. Orlov to DeBrusk, and that was off target. Montour tried to shoot it out for Dalpe. Second try got through for Dalpe, and then McAvoy comes over to take it away.
And this is the kind of negative energy that, you know, John Cooper talked a little bit about in the series between Tampa Bay and Toronto. Where's it going to be at? You don't know until you're there, but boy, there's a great anxiety and kind of a lot of negativity because of the lack of, you know, pinpoint passing and play by the Boston Bruins. It's going against them right now.
Right now it's quiet except for groans when plays don't go the right way.
Yeah, you just...
Power play, though, to try and get them into the hockey game. It's a tripping call against Mark Stahl and has the Bruins on the man advantage. This pass sails on the plate.
Pasternak's, you know, he's frustrated because the referee moved to his right, and that was Steve Kazari, and he couldn't make a clean pass.
One knocked away. Here's Bertuzzi up ice with Bergeron. Marchand flying up the wall. The pass mishandled by Bergeron. It was a potential 3-on-1, and the normally sure-handed Patrice Bergeron just gave it up.
He's not used to seeing this team manage the puck and play the puck like they are.
This on the power play. Marchand to the slot. Bertuzzi dusts it off, and it's blocked. Luostarinen took that one off the leg as he hobbles back into position. Pastrnak from a sharp angle doesn't shoot. They'll play it out for McAvoy. Marchand, McAvoy playing catch. Downhill, Pastrnak dropped it. McAvoy's shot went wide. Bergeron looking for the tip. Marchand from the half wall, halfway through the power play. McAvoy, Pastrnak drags and shoots. That one deflects up and over the glass.
Montour 12 and 2 combined in Game 7s. It's a good number.
That's a good number. Swayman will leave it. 45 seconds left on the power play. The puck at 180 feet away. Orlov for Krejci. Weaves across the line. Tried to hand off for Hall. Had to come to it on the boards. Played down for DeBrusk. Winds its way around for Zacha. Zacha. Orlov. Now Krejci. Krejci. Orlov. Moves it over. One-timer. That one sailed high. I think Mahor may have gotten a piece of that Zacha shot. Krejci finds him again. Zacha with the Brusk in front. They work to Orlov. Now Krejci, one-timer. Scores! It's David Krejci, and the Bruins are on the board.
Great one-timer by Krejci. The second power play unit gets on the ice. They simplify everything. Go to the diamond formation. Go to the left side, which to the right-hand shot on our right side. And boy, does he get everything on this one here. Known as a great passer. A lot of times reluctant to shoot it. You got to fire it. And boy, did he beat Bobrovsky on the short side with a howitzer. That shot had a lot on it. First goal of the series for David Krejci.
He missed 3 games. It's his first career Game 7 goal, believe it or not, in his 12th Game 7 for David Krejci. Bruins coming again. Lindholm's shot knocked down in front. Lindholm again. Sets up McAvoy. Drags, shoots. That time it's shut down by Cousins. Lindholm up with it. McAvoy to the outside. Toss to the net. Bobrovsky covers up as the ice. Boston. Krejci from Orlov and Zacha on the power play at 7:52 has erased that early second period goal from Reinhart. 2-1 hockey game here in the middle stages. Lundell dumps it in, glove down by Grizzlick, just kept it away from Reinhart. Bertuzzi pitchforks this one. Montour gloves it, Marchand on him. As those two seem to be next to one another all night tonight. This is offside, the reason for the whistle.
It's that they normally show, and sure enough, that second unit comes up, simplifies things, and get them right back in the game.
Duclair will dump it around. Carlo after it, given a rough ride there by Verhaeghe. And Barkov and Krejci battle for it. Duclair try to go to the net. Lindholm in his path. Krejci takes care of Duclair. Barkov swiped the puck from Lindholm. Forsling, big windup, and it's blocked by Pastrnak. Was hoping for a friendly bounce. Instead of carry him down the ice. This will turn into icing against Florida. And Jim Montgomery will have his pick in the regular season for the Boston Bruins, an NHL record. The Florida Panthers, one of the last teams to get in. They finished with 92. As this one gloved down by Tkachuk. That's a 43-point difference. As Bennett cuts in, Bennett delays, and it hit the outside of the net. McAvoy was on top of Swayman, trying to provide a little extra defense in the net. This one to the front, it's Bennett again, and he was handcuffed by DeBrusk. Lost his stick in the process. Now Mahura's blast absorbed by Orlov. DeBrusk tried to clear, but he gave it away to Cousins. Down went Tkachuk, his stick snapped in half. McAvoy takes a hit there from Bennett. Puck comes right to him. Bennett
Didn't come out.
turns and waits. Looks, tried to feed that to the slot. Charlie Coyle came back to rescue it. Coyle changing sides of the ice, but the puck continued to bounce. And away from Orlov. McAvoy another try. This time he'll leave it for Orlov as the Bruins try and find an exit.
Yeah, the two defensemen have been hemmed in, but 1 minute and 15 seconds so far. The controlled breakout forwards are changing for Boston. And on the way up the ice, I'm sure the 2D will try to get off on a change.
This one on net. Bobrovsky will cover it.
There will be no change then for the Florida Panthers with that puck coming from outside center ice. In his 1600th total game, regular season and playoffs.
Dropping the puck, Lindholm's shot. That one hit a body. Marchand goes spilling to the ice. Gets back to his feet. Puck comes to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi on the cycle. Bergeron just got his stick free from Stahl. Plays it for Marchand. Brad Marchand had 4 assists in Game 6. That pass may have been deflected, but it's carried all the way down the ice.
Big frustration there, boy. Marchand made no bones about it. He wasn't happy where Lindholm went to. He looked for him to go to the middle of the ice. Missed the pass completely. Total frustration there coming from the Bruins bench.
Here's Krejci, little stutter step. The drop pass to Zacha, and Lundell was right there with him. Forward sends it across. Carlo ahead. Krejci tips it in. Zacha and Ekblad came together. Puck came to Lundell. Lundell moved it. Luostarinen through the middle of the ice. Flipped over for Reinhart. Reinhart sends it below the goal line. Carlo spills down. Down goes Luostarinen. Almost made that pass to the front while sitting on the ice. Panthers making a change up front as Reinhart Goal and Brandon Montour work it in their own zone. Montour hurries ahead. Duclair will tap it deep. Barkov coming in on Carlo. Up the boards, kept in by Mark Stahl. Flutter to the front. Barkov gloves it down. In front of it, open net swept away by Carlo. Montour cruising around the outside. Verhaeghe had to jump his stick. Stahl right there. Serves it around the net again. Carlo, chance to exit. Passed ahead for Frederick. Frederick hands for Nosek. Tomas Nosek with a shot. Easy glove save. Period. Bergeron wins the faceoff. He's won 8 of 11 here tonight. This one around the glass. Handed off here for Bergeron. Down for McAvoy. McAvoy shot. Deflected and fluttered over top of the net. Verhaeghe able to clear the zone. Duclair one-on-one against Orlov. Duclair driving wide. Duclair takes it around the net. Tried to get it in front as Verhaeghe was charging. Bertuzzi for Bergeron. Bergeron kicks it to the boards offside.
Building confidence because it's quite clear that anxiety is showing, as he mentioned, or anxiousness with the puck.
Well, it's noteworthy. We've talked to Jim Montgomery before specifically about his communication with Lindholm. He said he's a guy he doesn't normally need to approach on the bench. He doesn't like to go talk to him because he knows what he needs to do.
Well, he's lacking a little assuredness here in this game, and it stemmed, I think, primarily on that flip out in the delay of game minor that happened in Florida.
Brandon Montour wraps it around. Orlov trying to hold the zone. Wrestling there with Cousins. It comes out, but DeBrusk's there to pick it up for Boston. Just onside as Taylor Hall cleared the zone at the last moment. Kachuk. Second try. Gets it up and out. First one to it is Grzelcyk trying to catch the Panthers in a change. Grzelcyk walking in. Risks a shot. That was well wide. Coming around for Luostarinen. And then he forgot the puck. Pastrnak has it. Fires over for Krejci. With Zacha to the net, and Radko Gudas stepped up and popped Krejci. Well, if you go for a hit like that, you better get it. And Gudas did. He got a whole lot of Krejci.
You get the puck or you get the body.
No icing here. Bobrovsky out to stop it. Clock hits 6 minutes to go in the second period of Game 7. Forbert down the boards. Radko Gudas took an extra second, made a pass to Reinhart. And Lundell banks it along. Tried to get it to Luostarinen, didn't work. Pastrnak fighting that puck over for Carlo. Carlo right through the blue paint. Bobrovsky watched it. Second, Gudas engaged below the goal line. Hathaway was able to pop it out to the line for Lindholm. Lindholm waits, then shoots right into Reinhart. Coming down for Hathaway. Nosek shoved off balance by Gudas. Trying to get back to his feet. Gudas able to take the puck. Outlet through the middle for Forsling. Frederick angled him off. Forced a premature pass. This won't be icing either. Waved that one off as it came through the bench area. Forsling hard around. Bertuzzi slowed it up. Grabbed by McAvoy, and then he lost it. Zach Dalpe pokes it ahead. McAvoy trying to get away from Dalpe. Dalpe crunches McAvoy. Those two still tangled. Bertuzzi comes over. McAvoy grabbed the puck and then lost it. Here's Stahl to the front, and his backhand wouldn't go. Picked up along the boards by Marchand. Marchand, Bergeron, turned around by Ekblad. Time now for Lindholm. Long feed Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi hit it off of Bergeron. Wrist shot off Bobrovsky into the corner. Marchand first one on it. Took a hop out front. His shot knocked down again by Bobrovsky. Bertuzzi knocked into the net by Montour. And a penalty for cross-checking called against the Panthers. Got 10 power play goals in the series.
Well, Bergeron booted out though.
Marchand will have to take it. Pastrnak had 18 power play goals during the regular season. A face-off win for Florida. Pastrnak came in, couldn't get it as Reinhart forced it to center.
Changes everything. A right-hand shot trying to pull it to his backhand versus a left-hand shot that's not a centerman trying to pull it to that side of the ice on his forehand.
Pastrnak to Bertuzzi. Bruins gain the line, try and get set up on the power play. Marchand, good move to get away from Barkov. Marchand tried to get past her for Pastrnak, didn't work out. It's off the skate, into the circle. Barkov able to come away. It's a 2-on-1. Short-handed opportunity for Florida. Barkov in, across, and the pass jumped the stick of Reinhart.
Boy, longer he held onto it, the better angle that he had for himself to shoot it.
And he made life difficult for Pastrnak As the first 40-plus seconds have wound off the clock, and then Boston just turned it over.
And his second unit will pop out of the ice and get another chance. Krejci's on now.
Pastrnak. He had that one just too far out in front of Krejci, and they'll have to start over again. Charlie McAvoy. Zacha to Hall. Taylor Hall. Quickly down the wing into the slot, and Zacha ripped it wide. Zacha up with it again. Picked up Krejci to Orlov. Orlov, top of the circle. Zacha returns it. Orlov. Zacha down low to Brosk. Zacha to Orlov straight away. Orlov one-timer. That's blocked by Stahl. Orlov again. Wrist shot blockered away. Bobrovsky. Luostarinen attempted clear. Bouncing puck. Orlov poked at it, but it's Luostarinen who finds it and finishes.
What a block by Mark Stahl. He's trying to get off the ice. He can't.
Quick turn. Hall. Zacha. Hall again. Zacha shoots. That one tipped off the high glass. DeBrusk to the line for Orlov. 15 left on the Montour penalty. DeBrusk. Cross ice, got it there. Krejci had to play it off the boards. His blind backhand right to Lundell. And Anton Lundell sets up shop just in front of the penalty box. Now closing in. Lundell with a wrist shot. Swayman makes the save just as the clock hits 0 on the Montour penalty. Lindholm ties up below the goal line with Bennett. Both teams at full strength here. Shots on goal in the second period are 9-5 for Boston. Each team with a goal here in the middle period, which now has just about 2 minutes left in it as Charlie Coyle was trying to cut in. Forsling just knocked it away from him. Deep into the Florida zone. Nosek fronts there by Cousins. Coyle comes over. Nosek with the puck. Dropped it off for Coyle. Has a moment. Coyle tried the near side. He'll go far side. Coyle gets top side. Shot it off Bobrovsky from a sharp angle. Hoping to catch him leaning.
Yeah, good play out of the zone. Live to fight another day by Matthew Tkachuk. Just that high backhand hoister to get it out.
Long feed from Marchand. Marchand right off the stick by Luostarinen. In comes Bergeron. Took the stick. But broke the stick of Forsling. And Reinhart forces to center. Minute and a half to go now. McAvoy. Lundell got a stick on it. Anton Lundell to Reinhart. Reinhart from the wall, centering feed. Lundell, and his shot sailed high. Luostarinen tried to set up Lundell. It wasn't in a good spot for that pass.
Best line on the ice by far for Florida.
Orlov, look out. Luostarinen pressured him. Moves it along from Marchand as the clock hits 1 minute remaining here in the second period. Pastrnak sent it deep. Mark Stahl got belted there by Marchand. Pastrnak grabbed the puck. Marchand to Pastrnak again. He drives to the net, put it off the pad of Bobrovsky. Down to the ice and a penalty called for roughing.
Again, Pastrnak driving hard. There's the stick. Well, the high part of the stick, it looks, I think, worse than what it was. But great job by Pastrnak to drive hard, and you can see that Paul Maurice not happy with that call. They get the looks on their bench.
Again, they didn't call high sticking, they called roughing. A 2-minute minor and a power play here for the Bruins.
I don't personally agree with the call, but
Marchand will handle the face-off again. Fourth power play in this game, third in this period for Boston. Pastrnak to the net. Bobrovsky pushed it to the corner. Bergeron, Bertuzzi changing sides of the ice, knocked down by Marchand. Marchand, McAvoy from the slot. McAvoy, Marchand moves it higher. Back to Marchand. Waits. McAvoy shoots. Save! Bobrovsky, no rebound. It's a power play time for the Bruins when the third period begins, but they will enter the third period trailing by a goal in Game 7. The Stanley Cup playoffs on TNT are presented by Geico. The 7th time the President's Trophy winner playing a Game 7 of the opening round. First time in a dozen years. And it's the Boston Bruins trailing 2-1 to start the third period, but start on a power play that carried over from the second with Brendan Montour in the box for 1 more minute. Pastrnak to Zacha. Zacha to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi hard around towards David Krejci. Krejci out top for Orlov. Pastrnak in front. Bertuzzi went right through along with Forsling. Krejci will try the far side. Pastrnak gathers it, pulls it off the wall. Pass into the skates of Zacha, and it's cleared by Ekblad.
That's a bit of a waste. That was a good entry into the zone by the Bruins.
Quick up by Swayman. Krejci leaves it at the line. Orlov returns it to Krejci. 30 left on the power play. Krejci down low off the backhand of Bertuzzi. He's able to pull it away from Bobrovsky's glove. Krejci out high. Orlov walking in. Shoots, scores! Tyler Bertuzzi's deflection on the power play, and it's tied at 2.
Little different look on this power play. The first one went for naught. The second time around, a shot from the point. Good backhand pass there by Krejci on the half boards. There's the shot. There's the redirection. It comes in and out of that net as quick as you can read about right there. There's a deflection down low. It's going to the blocker. Bobrovsky cannot find that going down low. An impossible tip to stop. And Bertuzzi, with some great hand-eye coordination, ties this game up for 2.
What a pickup he has turned out to be. From the Detroit Red Wings, he now has 5 goals in this series. There are a couple of rally towels that have made their way out onto the ice here that have gone undetected so far near the Florida Panthers bench. If you hear a random whistle, that might be why. This one played up ice for Bergeron and chipped into the zone.
Yeah, the linesman there, Johnny Murray, he does not see them just yet.
There are 4 officials on the ice, and none of them have spotted it yet.
No, Johnny Murray just saw that one there.
They'll pick him up. Bennett will toss this one down the ice. Lindholm grabs it behind the net. So it did not take the Boston Bruins long to get Game 7 tied, as they've scored both their goals on the power play as Charlie Coyle forced.
And they end up getting a goal because of it.
Well, what does this third period have in store in Game 7? Third periods have been wild in this series so far. That was the 25th third period goal. Coyle across, a little too hot to handle for Trent Frederick. Now Montour lays it to the boards. Duclair went down. Puck squirts free. Mark Stahl rims it. Carlo right there. Carlo twisting, turning, trying to advance it through. Found his way to Frederick. One-handed for Taylor Hall. Hall sends it to the back. Lindholm to Carlo. Carlo, safe play down the board. Coyle with Stahl getting the stick in there. Crowd reacts. Refs don't. Here's Hall trying to center. Broken up by Montour. Verhaeghe and Montour, and Hall in danger of being called for a hook there. Montour flips it across the crease and through to the boards, picked up by Reinhart. First 2 goals were for the Florida Panthers, Montour and Reinhart. Last 2 for the Boston Bruins, Krejci and Bertuzzi on the power play as Swayman makes the stop.
Now this line's going to ice the puck, and they've been hemmed in on the ice for 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Stop Forsland third as a member of these Florida Panthers.
And to see him have a fat upper lip. He took one up there for sure.
Kachuk cut off the pass. He got bumped. This one floated into the Bruins zone. Swayman will settle it for Orlov. Dmitry Orlov lost it to Bennett, who lost his footing and went hard into the corner boards.
Yeah, it's important for the Florida Panthers, too, to get this line going here. The Cousins, Bennett, and Kachuk line have been so good in the series.
Bobrovsky comes out to handle. Swings it around Kachuk, played it off the wall for Bennett, who made the 360. Marchand with the snap of his stick, trying to knock that puck free from Bennett. Here's Cousins. Kachuk trying to head to the net. Orlov gets in his way. Oh, and then Kachuk just ran into the post. I think he tried to make a tight turn and lost an edge. He was checking out your monitor, Penger, to see what happened.
Well, he went into the goalie and the post, but not very hard at all. Actually, not very hard at all.
Here's Brandon Carlo. Long range shot, big rebound, score! David Pastrnak has given the Bruins their first lead of Game 7.
What a long rebound that was. A long shot off the stick and right pad, and right on the tape to the most dangerous player, the 60-goal sniper, Out of the own zone come the Boston Bruins. The shot on goal from a long way away, but I had a great angle of how clearly this beat the goaltender after he can't get back. You push back to your right. Montour goes down diving. It cleanly beats the goaltender. And here's an ISO on Pastrnak, and he makes no mistake. And look at this reaction.
Well, the Boston Bruins started the period down 2-1. They scored twice in the first 4:11, separated by 3:16. And now they have a 1-goal lead, and the Panthers will have to respond. 3 consecutive goals scored in the game by Boston. Mahura wrist shot, flagged down by the glove hand of Swayman.
Whoa! Here we go!
Grzelcyk. Even Swayman got the glove right in the face of Colin White.
The stick. All-world ability there by Pastrnak. And
Lundell goes to Rainen back door, and it was off the skate of Reinhart. If he could have gotten it to his stick, he had an open net. Taylor Hall protecting in front of the Bruins bench. Pulled away from him by Reinhart. This has been the most impactful line tonight for Paul Maurice. Reinhart, Lundell, and Luostarinen. There's a chance for Taylor Hall, one-on-one against Montour. Hall looking for Coyle. Charlie Coyle dips to the outside. Sharp angle shot in and out of the glove of Bobrovsky as Hall knocked to the ice. Now Brandon Montour got to center ice. Gets it deep. Swayman will stop it for McAvoy.
And look at the last 2 primary assists, too, for the Boston Bruins defensemen, Orlov and Carlo. You don't think that in that locker room, shoot the puck, fellas, from everywhere?
Absolutely. The secondary assist on both goals belonged to David Krejci, who's in the middle of a 3-point night. And now 12 assists in his career in Game 7s, most all-time in NHL history, passing Doug Gilmour and Jaromir Jagr here tonight. Orlov trying to clear. Instead, it's Tkachuk with plenty of time. Tkachuk for Ekblad. Ekblad dusts it off. Forsling shot deflected off the glass. Then Bennett tried, didn't get much on it. McAvoy didn't have anywhere to go with it. Tried to pin it. And now off a stanchion. Tkachuk to Bennett. And Bennett got caught by Orlov. And he is ever.
But there's those stanchions here along the glass and a big bounce. It might be the best line, the best shift down low as Bennett is looking at the referee right there, but the
guy who should have gone off. Again, McAvoy back out there, but Lindholm is the guy who had come off. Or had come on the ice and should have gone off, but either way, a fresh Lindholm able to stay out there for Boston. Face-off win for Florida. Duclair drops it off for Verhaeghe. It's out high, wrist shot, dropped down just outside the crease and covered by Swayman.
Well, look who's got the confidence in this crowd.
Of the Stanley Cup playoffs. This a 1-goal game, approaching the halfway point of the 3rd period. Bruins trying to advance to face the Toronto Maple Leafs and continue their President's Trophy winning season. The Florida Panthers trying to knock off the top dog in the East. Grzelcyk sends it around for Taylor Hall. Move through center. Luostarinen across for Forsling. Forsling snaps one all the way through. That shot comes to Swayman from Lundell, and he hangs on again.
And for every save that he makes, a hard charge in Florida. Panther forward is driving hard to that blue paint. And they are going to give the Boston Bruins everything they've got. You were talking about the 3rd period goals. There they are, Berkey.
No series has had more combined 3rd period goals than the one we're watching right now. That's in NHL Stanley Cup playoff history.
That 85 conference final, Edmonton-Chicago, that was my first year pro. I was the 3rd goalie for that one. I got to watch all those goals.
They didn't give up any, though.
No, I didn't play. Didn't even rest.
That's why. Tkachuk trying to get away from Orlov. McAvoy spilled down just to the side of the net. Montour plays it for Tkachuk. Panthers have had some 3rd period magic in this series. There were 7 combined 3rd period goals in Game 6 on their way to a 7-5 win. Oh, that just missed.
Nifty try from the sharp angle by Cousins.
Marchand and Bertuzzi with Bergeron to the net. That one floats around the back. Mark Stahl Just got there. Bertuzzi somehow cut between the two Panthers.
Slinky move right there along the boards, 1-on-2.
And that came out and back in off of Krejci, and it's offside. Well, the NHL is now on Roblox. Lead your team to victory in this new fast-paced spin of hockey with NHL Blast. Explore today, NHL.com/blast.
Roblox hockey right there. Verhaeghe?
I'm going to take a guess you don't know what that is.
It's Roblox hockey.
Okay, perfect. I was recently introduced to it.
Kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Still have no idea what it is. But they do, and that's all that matters. Barkov plays on for Duclair. Stretched across for Mahura. Josh Mahura. Stops on the entry. Played down for Duclair. Lindholm, Barkov. That one hit the outside of the net. Swayman was moving away from the post. And then to the back for Radko Gudas with a blast that missed the net. Mahura forces it down low. Brandon Carlo.
That's what you got to do if you're Florida, though. Everything goes towards the net. Everything. And we saw that with Toronto. Yankin went off the skate for the game-winning goal last night.
Doesn't have to be pretty.
Usually isn't.
This one tipped in by Luostarinen. Grizzly just moved it to Taylor Hall. Hall onto the tape of Forbert.
Wow, that's crisp execution coming out of the zone by Boston.
Coyle plays it down for DeBrusk. Down to a knee, right back to his feet. Pried off the stick by Ekblad. Luostarinen for Lundell, and DeBrusk on the back check. Broke it up and lost his stick, lost his footing. And the Panthers able to get it in.
Yeah, and his stick is in the neutral zone there. He doesn't have one yet.
Charlie Coyle goes high off the glass, and as Hall tried to catch it.
Penguins, you never know.
The only series with a bigger point differential was in 1996, Red Wings and Winnipeg Jets, a 53-point differential in that one. Detroit won the series in 6 games.
You're going to fire math at me now.
Half the way from a sharp angle. Got it again. It's in the crease. It's covered up. Trent Frederick mixing things up down low. Charlie McAvoy's in some pain.
Well, you can tell by the position.
I believe the instruction earlier in the game was don't test the referees. Certainly not at this point in a game 7. That one hit off the linesman. And Duclair down to the ice. And some company there as Lindholm spilled as well. Duclair, goal line. Duclair to the front. Montour couldn't make contact as he was closing in from the point. Krejci, Zacha, Krejci again. Into the high slot. Pastrnak snapped it on goal, and it's hugged by Bobrovsky.
Well, it doesn't take long in the all-check line there. Moving in through the neutral zone with some good passing. But Duclair at the other end of the ice, the left-hand shot. I thought he was going to step out a little bit further right there. He had some room. Carlo kind of bailed out of him. And I think if Duclair has a little bit more patience with the puck, he could step out and maybe jam it. We've seen Matthew Tkachuk do that several times in this series. And even if you don't score in the first jam play, quite often there's going to be a rebound coming off the pad.
Looked like Pastrnak got a piece of that pass and sent it wobbly through Montour. Face off inside the Panthers' end. Too clean of a win for Bergeron. Bergeron was winning almost 70% of his draws coming in to Game 7. He's won 12 of 17 here in this decisive game. Bergeron centers out of the reach. Grizzly moves over for Forbert. Wrist shot wide. Coming around for Marchand. He rips it past the net. Forbert waiting for it on the far wall. Dunked down for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi found a little space. Offensive zone change for the Bruins brings Taylor Hall onto the ice as Grizzly tries to hold the zone and can't. Hall will hustle back on him.
Yeah, good reverse hit inside his own zone by Luostarinen, making sure he takes his man and the puck gets out of the zone.
Less than half the third period remaining in Game 7. The Bruins have come from down 2-1 in the third. They have a 3-2 lead.
Buckle up. Lots of hockey left to be played.
McAvoy can't clear. Glove down by Cousins. Tried to leave it off for Bennett. And DeBrusk was there. This one goes airborne. Taylor Hall. Penalty here against Boston. McAvoy caught Cousins sticking. High pressure here on the power play for the Florida Panthers, down 3-2 in the third period of Game 7. Their third power play of the night. They are 1-4-2. It's their first power play since the middle of the first period. Barkov moves it. Montour shoots it. Swayman was down and ready. Tkachuk keeps it from Bergeron. Now played for Bennett. Tkachuk, bottom of the circle. Tried to snap it in for Reinhart. It was cut off and cleared.
Boy, great penalty kill all season long. And did they ever pressure the half boards? Both Tkachuk and Barkov, they actually made some good passes under some duress there.
Bruins the #1 penalty kill during the regular season, but Florida has gained some momentum on their power play here later on in this series. 5 for their last 12 going back to game 4. This is cleared down. They got a power play goal from Montour to open the scoring in the first. They had a 2-0 lead on the goal from Reinhart early on in the second. Since then, 3 straight for the Boston Bruins. A minute to go on the McAvoy penalty. Bennett, hard around. Lindholm elevates it. Tkachuk just bats it on for Barkov. Now Montour just inside the line, almost lost it to Nosek. The follow-up by Zaka, and he'll force it all the way in.
A good chance that entry. It was close to being offside, Berkey, from my vantage point. Doesn't matter anyway. Bruins are able to clear.
Montour for Tkachuk. Montour driving. Tkachuk lays it down the wall. Montour and Forbort came together. Puck hit the glass. Bodies hit the boards. And then Reinhart didn't get a lot of that pass for Tkachuk, but it still finds its way to Ekblad. Shot. Reaching out with the glove. Swayman knocks it down. He has it under him.
Might have been going wide to the glove side.
22 left on the power play for Florida, but a face-off win and a clear for the Bruins.
Yeah, Jim Montgomery to my right, motioning to McAvoy to get on the ice when he comes off
10 seconds.
the penalty box.
Lundell cruising ahead. Right up the gut, play to the boards. Lindholm, hard off the glass, down it goes. Penalty will expire as Bobrovsky comes out of his goal. Marchand turning the heat up there on Forsling, knocked him down. Now Ekblad takes the puck. The Bruins back at full strength. Marchand was able to get all the way across and replaced. 2 saves by Swayman during that Panther power play. Krejci has had a hand in all 3 goals. Bertuzzi's shot wrapped off the stick.
There's some resilience to my left with the Florida Panthers bench and the way that they play under pressure.
That's in the middle of the ice, and Grzelcyk stopped it from moving along, but Eric Stahl forced it ahead. Zach Dalpe can't reach it. McAvoy for Zaka, red line and in. Pastrnak on the cycle for Krejci. David Krejci taking a look. Orlov's shot got through, kicked out by Bobrovsky. McAvoy backhands it around. Pastrnak held up there by Mark Stahl. Eric Stahl will take the puck. Zaka gave him a rough ride as Eric Stahl hits the ice, gets back to his feet while it's flipped down into the Bruins zone. Swayman telling Taylor Hall to come get it. Charlie Coyle gets it deep. Bobrovsky out to stop it. Played for Radko Gudas off the skate of the referee. Came to Charlie Coyle. Coyle leaned on by Gudas. Puck available below the goal line. Mahura and Hall came to it. It's Gudas who comes away with it. Verhaeghe to Mahura. And he'll wrap it around the back of Swayman. Another one of those funky hops.
Yeah, if you're Florida, you want to bank as many as possible high on the glass behind the goaltender. See what kind of bounce you can get.
You can hear it rattle off the stanchions almost every time it finds its way behind the net off the glass. Busy building this time of year. Celtics and Bruins still both alive. The hit by Bergeron allowed Marchand to get the puck. Safe play down low. Bertuzzi trying to hold off Forsling. Marchand wrapped up by Lundell. Stays on it. Brad Marchand turns and shoots it off the leg of Lundell. It took a funny hop there. And final 5 minutes of game number 7 with the Bruins, who have scored the last 3 goals of this game, leading by 1. Lindholm wraps the glass. Doesn't come out. That is Taylor Hall, who's able to lift it out to center. Forsling for Barkov. Barkov will carry in. DeBrusk separates him from the puck. Lindholm and Barkov head after it. Carlo punched it around. Taylor Hall finds a soft spot in his own zone, then starts ahead as he moves past Barkov and through Verhaeghe.
Oh, good read by Forsling.
That pass intended for Coyle. Instead, it's turned around. Carter Verhaeghe sends it in. Orlov for Coyle. Has Orlov with speed. Dmitry Orlov shot, and that one glanced off Bobrovsky, and it winds up over the glass.
Orlov's game has changed here in the 3rd period. There had to be some reassurance going on in that locker room, and confidence being given. Tell the D to go, and Orlov's had a really good third period. The way he played for many games after being acquired from the Capitals. Oh, it just barely grazed the left shoulder of Bobrovsky, just enough. That was labeled under the bar.
And it hit the crossbar and jumped over the glass. 4:12 remaining. Bergeron to handle the draw. It came to Bertuzzi. Quick shot blocked by Montour. Bertuzzi locates it. Served behind. Cut off by Mark Stoll on its way to Marchand. Tkachuk's pass was behind Bennett as he tried to leave the zone. Bergeron stopped it just outside the blue line. And now it's Stahl across the ice from Montour. Inside 4 minutes remaining. Stahl lost it and his footing. Marchand tracks it down. Pastrnak going to the net. And a nice job to close the gap by Brandon Montour.
Well, that's the guy that you got to watch if you're the Boston Bruins. It's Montour. I mean, all over the ice. Not afraid to take some chances in the offensive zone. Scored the first goal of the game.
Montour was trying to get off the ice, but he can't. Pastrnak, a little reverse hit on Montour. Bennett ahead for Cousins. And Cousins had nowhere to go with it. Panthers in a change as they bring Forsling out on the ice. Cousins is shaken up on his way to the bench. Got hurt earlier in the shift, was trying to gut it out. That dump in hit the back of Lundell. This is shot down into the Bruins zone. Swayman keeps it away from the front of the net. Carlo wraps it to Brusque. Out of the zone, no icing here. Clock hits 3 minutes to go. Radko Gudas for Forsling. Red line and in. Another bounce off the glass. Lindholm. Near side, DeBrusk coming to get it for Boston. Wolfstarinen got involved. Lindholm flubbed that with Duclair pressuring him. Taylor Hall not out. Kept in by Wolfstarinen but gave it away. Lindholm to Carlo. Carlo makes sure he gets the red line. Shoots it deep. 2.5 remaining. Montour back on the ice for the Panthers. Reinhart will leave it for him. Shadowed by Bergeron. Bertuzzi with the interception at center. Tossed back into the Panther zone. Crowd climbing to their feet here at TD Garden. Tkachuk on the dump in. Orlov will be first to it for Boston. Played around McAvoy. Marchand turns, tried to clear. Ekblad was in the way. Second try for Krejci. Can't get it out. It's going to the benches. Bobrovsky.
Here he is.
Extra attacker on in the form of Carter Verhaeghe as the puck flipped up, not out. Ekblad off Bertuzzi and ricochets down the ice. It won't go in, but it won't be icing either. Minute 45 on the clock. Verhaeghe ramps up, glove down by Swayman, and he gave it to McAvoy. Glove down by Tkachuk, trying to keep it alive. Played near the line. Verhaeghe across. Montour to the net. Swayman gloves the puck and holds on.
Well, he's been a story. Obviously replacing Ullmark after Ullmark's brilliant regular season.
And the Florida Panthers change that. Empty net on the other end. They've got 6 attackers on the ice. Loose puck in the corner. Verhaeghe grabs it for Florida. Carter Verhaeghe sends it for Montour. Montour across. Barkov just gets rid of it.
Got to shoot at this ice. Has got the puck on end.
Verhaeghe snaps it. Montour shoots it. Blocked on the way. Reinhart keeps it moving. Montour holds it down. Played for Tkachuk. Back to the goal. Tkachuk. Far side Verhaeghe. To the top Barkov. Barkov put it in. They score! Brandon Montour! He snuck it short side on Swayman. And in the final minute, the Panthers have tied Game 7.
They are an amazingly resilient group, and it is Montour again. Ties this game up, and he has had another terrific game. They just don't go away easily. From behind the goal line, again, working the puck. And as I mentioned, with the ice this late, it's not going to lay flat for fancy passes. You got to just grunt it out a little bit. Tkachuk goes back to the point. Now you're going to have to get a shot on goal. There was. And the hit a skate. Rebound goes right to the right-handed Montour. He was sagging down low, and look at this reaction. I guess so. Underdog of all underdogs coming into Boston, and they've tied this game up at 3 with 59 seconds remaining.
And it's that man again. Brandon Montour scores the first and the third for the Florida Panthers. 5 goals in the series. And we're inside of a minute. Bobrovsky back in the cage for Florida. This one comes to center, no icing here. Of note now, Nick Cousins and Mark Stahl have both gone to the dressing room for the Florida Panthers. Something that may come into play if this game reaches overtime. Brandon Carlo will come back to get it. The fans in Boston still standing, more stunned than anything at this point. They were ready to set off the celebration. The Florida Panthers had other plans. Carlo takes it to the corner. 10 seconds left. Pinned against the wall. Now it comes free. Carlo with a hit from Bennett will take it to the corner, and the Florida Panthers, a minute away from elimination, will force Game 7 into overtime tonight in Boston. With apologies to Bruins and Panthers fans who are probably a little nervous right now. What could be better? Panger, Game 7 overtime coming up.
Well, this is quite a inaugural Game 7 for you, Brendan Burke, in the National Hockey League. How you enjoyed it so far?
Hey, you can't ask for much more than this. My first Game 7, not the same case for many of these players, certainly on the Boston Bruins side. Patrice Bergeron has done this 4 times already, at least in playoff overtime options in terms of game-winning goals. Carter Verhaeghe has the most on the Florida Panthers among active players. The last time the Bruins won a Game 7 in overtime, it was Patrice Bergeron. It was Game 7 against Toronto in 2013. But what we do know is somebody's dream will come true tonight. Somebody will score a Game 7 overtime series winner. Pastrnak right on to start. They are in the upper deck, but it's kind of steep up here. Safety reasons. Here's Bennett. Into the slot. Bennett juggles it. Hands off for Radko Gudas. He made the save. Did Swayman while Matthew Tkachuk, a little contact as he cut across the goal mouth. Now it's Orlov gaining entry. Poked off his stick. Turned around. Tkachuk on a breakaway. Matthew Tkachuk. Swayman. Bennett across the ice for Montour. He'll go off the glass. Rattled around. Orlov there. Boy, Matthew Tkachuk, a chance to win the series, and Swayman came up with the stop. Bertuzzi's behind the back pass was away from Marchand, and Bennett has a chance to skate.
He goes to that backhand pass an awful lot right there. That's a bad turnover the neutral zone.
Cousins wrist shot, changed directions. Bennett knocked it out of the air, but wide of the net.
That was amazing that Tkachuk actually handled that, going backward, got it on the paddle of his stick, and was able to control it for a breakaway opportunity.
Boyle played behind, Forsling around the glass. It jumped off those glass stanchions again. Long feed for Duclair, intercepted by Lindholm, out of the zone and back in. And time here for Boston. As Verhaeghe didn't know it was offside, it was also a high stick against Lindholm. We'll see where they put the face on.
Well, you could see Tkachuk. That's quite an accomplishment. Between that and what Big Walt Tkachuk said to the team. Big difference in getting in the playoffs or not getting in the playoffs.
Change that quickly. Here's Marchand. Defended well by Forsling. Forsling took it. Bertuzzi got in there. Kicks it to Marchand. Brad Marchand cycles it down for Bertuzzi. Watched by Cousins. Bertuzzi to the line, and McAvoy couldn't handle it.
Great job by Bergeron. I had my eyes on him. He backed up Montour right to the top of the crease to try to get some traffic in front.
McAvoy gave it away to Bennett. Duclair to the front. Save Swayman on Verhaeghe. Now Orlov looking up ice. Angles it for Marchand. Couldn't get it through. Ekblad lifted it. Duclair had it drop right next to him. Verhaeghe lost it. And Marchand bumps it out of the zone. Verhaeghe back in, but there is McAvoy, but it winds
by Jeremy Swayman.
Verhaeghe, 42 goals during the regular season, has one so far in this postseason. It was in Game 2. Radko Gudas plays ahead. Stopping it there is Forbert. A hit off his own man, and Zalpi to the right side for Eric Stahl. Popped out, quick shot, swallowed up by Swayman on the try from Colin White. Gets deeper into overtime. The stakes get higher, but you need everybody on the bench. Lindholm tried to stretch it for Nosek. Gets through. It's a breakaway. Turned around in a hurry. Lundell. Anton Lundell for Reinhart. Chip back to Lundell. Has to grab it along the boards. Played behind Luostarinen. Lindholm on his back. Shoves him. Puck work to Reinhart. Then for Lundell. Lundell fights through the contact from Carlo. Brandon Montour over for Mark Stahl. Shut down by Taylor Hall. Luostarinen to the rescue. Keeps it alive for the Panthers. Brandon Montour, who has 2 of the 3 Panthers goals on the ice for Florida at the right point. Cousins try to work it down lower. Charlie Coyle cut it off to Brusk. And Taylor Hall couldn't find a way to get it to him. Then he drags it across the line and puts it into the chest.
A guy like that, he's about good stick, blocking shots, doing the little things.
McAvoy wrist shot, save Bobrovsky, big rebound. Krejci couldn't get his stick on it. Forsling handed off for Barkov. Barkov trying to protect the puck. One hands it around the net. Finds it on the other end. Forsling shot, ricochets in front. Grabbed and cleared out.
That's the kind of shot that's the key right there by Forsling.
Duclair for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe tried to shoot it quickly. Pastrnak was right there. Ekblad around the glass. Duclair just getting off the ice. Plays onside. Florida finishing their change while the Bruins work it in their own zone. Stretch pass to center for Pastrnak. Pastrnak for Grzelcyk. Unable to get it deep. Orlov. And this one will drop down to Brandon Montour in the Panthers zone. 5 minutes gone here in overtime. Game 7. Next goal wins the series. McAvoy and Tkachuk. Tkachuk who comes away with it. Bennett to Tkachuk to Stahl. Mark Stahl for Tkachuk. McAvoy will get to that loose puck. He saw Marchand out at center. Puck didn't get there. Lindholm now puts it under the skates of Marchand. Over the line. Marchand rims it around. Bergeron first on it for Boston. Bertuzzi backhands it. Marchand shoots it. Save Bobrovsky. Picked up by Bertuzzi. He'll try the far side. Brandon Carlo waiting for it. Right back where it came from. Bertuzzi in stride. Looking to the front. Hit off the skate of Bennett. Loose. Marchand finds it. Marchand's pass angled off a skate to the net. Bobrovsky has seen enough. If the Panthers get this next goal. That was the 72nd face-off of our game as that one hit somebody on the Bruins.
Yeah, most of the players nowadays, it frustrates the linesmen. They're trying to tell the guys to get their stick blades, back inside the bench. You used to have the stick blade basically on the floor and the knob of your stick was up high, and it has changed over the years. I'd put the blade on the ground. It's all yucky down there. Then you knob of your stick's all full of spit and chew down there.
Especially at this point of the hockey game. 6 minutes into overtime. Panthers control behind the net. Aaron Ekblad floats it to center off the stick of Duclair. Hampus Lindholm for Taylor Hall. Barkov to Brusk. Duclair. Ekblad all involved. And it's forced into the Panthers zone again. Forsling run off by Charlie Coyle. Taylor Hall swooped in, got the puck to the line. Carlo feeds it down low. It's Barkov for Verhaeghe. He'll clear. Lindholm hustling back. Panthers hustling for a change. Long change here in overtime. Same as the second period. Radko Gudas off the glass. All the way through for Verhaeghe. Stationary. Finds a moving Ekblad. Forward. Turns it for Krejci. Moved along for Zaki. He's got Pastrnak with him in the neutral zone. The pass off the skate of Pastrnak. Swayman out of his goal to handle. Forward chops at it. Pastrnak trying to clear with help from Zacha. They get the job done, but it's right back under Panther control. Luostarinen hands for Lundell. Lundell will swing it around. Reinhart met there by Forward. That one riding the ledge. Lundell took it with him. And it's Bruins win the faceoff. Grzelcyk through the middle, and Frederick fighting through Stahl. Trent Frederick. Tough angle, threw it across the top of the crease. Nosek knocked the stick out of the hands of White. And the puck continued on, and it's Zach Dalpe. The captain of the Charlotte Checkers this year. He's played almost 500 games in the American Hockey League. Getting a chance to play here in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Hasn't played any American League games because he was recalled here in the playoffs.
Dalpe moves it along for White. Hand it off for Eric Stahl. He'll get a deep wholesale change for the Panthers. And a full head of steam for Brad Marchand. His pass was out of the reach of Carlo. Bennett couldn't get it deep. Carlo stopped it initially. Now it's shot down. Grzelcyk, Bertuzzi. Moved away from Marchand. Off the leg of Bertuzzi. Forsling for Cousins. Lifted in. First one to it, Tkachuk. Hit by Carlo. Puck pops in the air, lands behind the net. Right to the side of the goal. They chop away at it. Tkachuk keeping it alive. Carlo can't grab it. It comes to Verhaeghe. Turns, shoots, scores! Carter Verhaeghe! And the Panthers have eliminated the Boston Bruins!
An incredible wrist shot. You just mentioned Verhaeghe with that great regular season. That line not getting many chances in this game, and the improbable has just happened here on Boston ice. The Florida Panthers, 43 points behind the Bruins, have just won it in Game 7 in overtime. This is a wicked wrister under the bar and in.
Absolutely stunned silence here at TD Garden. An NHL record 65 wins and 135 points. And their season ends in round 1 in a Game 7 overtime. And the goal from Carter Verhaeghe after Brandon Montour tied it in the final minute of regulation time.
Getting the pucks on net. There haven't been that many clean chances here in the overtime. The players will shake hands. And Patrice Bergeron, the captain, leads the charge here in shaking hands with the visitors, the Florida Panthers.
Well, the handshakes between the Panthers and the Boston Bruins as Carter Verhaeghe, his 3rd career overtime winner and the 2nd straight season he has scored a series clinching goal. Last year it was to eliminate Washington in Game 6. So the Florida Panthers are moving on. The Boston Bruins, their season ends. And the reality sets in about what this means for some members of the Boston Bruins, including their captain, Patrice Bergeron. And it's fair to wonder if we've just seen his last game in the National Hockey League.
There'll be some quiet reflection for sure. After such a brilliant year, the adversity they faced was right here in the playoffs. In 5, in 6, changing the goaltender. This shot by Verhaeghe was a classic wrister. You can see why he scored over 40 goals in the regular season. What a disappointment for the Bruins. An absolute disappointment, and these fans definitely quiet here.
Boston won Game 4, 6-2 to take a 3-1 series lead.
135 points to 92. That's hockey.
That is why they play the games. On paper, this was not a series. Florida had to scrap until the last days of the regular season just to qualify for the playoffs. And they have the opportunity to advance and will face the Toronto Maple Leafs starting Game 1 in Toronto in round 2. Well, the Panthers leave the ice. The Bruins fans left. Console their team after a historic season in Boston comes to an end.
Well, here's the goal that has ended their season. A little backhand chip to the offensive zone, down low, and a play by Tkachuk on the boards. He takes a hit to make a play there. It ends up getting squirted loose here. Tkachuk battling Carlo, and then Bennett comes in to help out. And you can see the screen by Tkachuk is everything on this play. He's moving towards the right. Swayman can't pick it up. It is a beautiful sequence, working the puck down low. But Verhaeghe's instincts to shoot it, bring it back on the toe of the blade, it eludes the stick there of the first forward, and right under the bar and in with Tkachuk lurking in the weeds as always.
The road teams 11-3 in overtime in these Stanley Cup playoffs as Carter Verhaeghe wins Game 7, 4-3 in overtime for the Florida Panthers.
The exhilaration and euphoria of winning. Celebration by Bobrovsky.
Oh my goodness. Much like this series, this one had a dramatic finish. You guys tie it with a minute left, then get the winner in OT. What was said before the extra frame?
Yeah, I think it was kind of common there. I mean, we just needed one guy to make a play, and I mean, Benny made a great play to me, and I mean, we had a couple chances ended, and thankfully that went in.
How did it feel when you knew it hit the back of the net? What was that emotion?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy to come back from a 3-1 series and take it to Game 7 overtime. I mean, it was crazy. I'm so proud of everyone, and there's so much character in our room, and it's amazing.
You guys, you said it. You come back from 3-1 in the series. It's so rare for that to happen. Why do you think you guys were able to pull it off?
I think, I mean, all year we've been playing playoff hockey. It feels like from January. I think we're just get hit and then just keep on going. I think that's kind of the mentality of our group, and I mean, it feels really good tonight.
Well, on to the next round. Congratulations and thanks for this.
Thank you.